Hey everyone, welcome to Weather Extra on this Monday evening. I am not in studio. I am on location in Lake Tahoe, beautiful Lake Tahoe, snow on the ground, skiing happening all around us. We are talking weather at Operation Sierra Storm, a weather conference out here. And I am joined by former FEMA Administrator Craig Fugate. Craig, great to have you here today. He's an expert when it comes to all kinds of response dealing with significant weather. You were administrator from 2009 to 2017 during the Obama years. Let me take you back to that period, because within that period, you covered a lot of events. What's the one event, weather event, that really stands out the most?
Well, there's actually two. Okay. Remember the tornado outbreak we had? Got Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, yes. And you could literally fly that route and just see the devastation. And I can remember being with President Obama. We were on the ground in Tuscaloosa, and the devastation. He'd never seen anything like that, and trying to describe that and understand that. And then Joplin happens basically a month later up in Missouri. And he's on international travel. He's calling me. He says, Craig, what's it like? Is it, I'm like, it's worse. He's like, how could it be worse? I'm like, it's worse. It just is. It was an F5. But it was the experience of tornadoes. And one of the things that really struck me was how many people in the national media were so focused on Tuscaloosa and Birmingham and had no idea in the north end of the state the devastation where entire communities, fire stations, 911 centers were leveled, and the response that was having to take place. And for Alabama, it was the first time they actually flipped their response. Everybody from down south was heading north, and normally for hurricanes, everybody up north would head south to help out their neighbors during those tornadoes.
What was the other event in Louisiana that really stood out in your mind?
We've had Katrina, but Hurricane Isaac, where we had made a lot of work and improvements on New Orleans. And when it hit, it was a pretty powerful storm, but it didn't hardly do any damage to New Orleans. But all around what they call the river parishes, extreme flooding and storm surge on Lake Pontchartrain that had never saw the flooding during Katrina. And people were just, it wasn't as strong as Katrina. How could it be, And it was like, it was an example of how a storm a little bit further to the east changed the dynamics. Down in Plaquemines Parish, up in the river parishes, all the way over in Sidell, flooding they had not gotten in Katrina. And people not understanding that a lot of times it's not the category of the hurricane, it's the impacts of the hurricane. And this was the storm surge where nobody had ever seen it before.
Incredible. Okay, real quick here. FEMA is not the savior when it comes to a natural disaster. Explain, if you can, in 20 seconds, the role of FEMA.
FEMA's job is to support the governor for the unmet needs of the state. When the state and local governments don't have the resources or they need the financial backing at the direction of the president, FEMA supports the governor and that team. FEMA's not the primary responder. FEMA's not in charge. FEMA supports the governor and the state team.
Very good. Craig, thank you so much. That's a look at Weather Extra from my perspective on this Monday. Stay tuned. Meteorologist Ryan Duggar is up next.